Okay, hi, good morning everyone, and welcome to our class for today. So, for today, unfortunately, our Form 3 class is clashing with my Form 5 classes, so I need to record for you a little bit of explanation before I let you begin your task. Today, we are going to be looking at page 125 from your textbook, and this is explaining the grammar features that we are going to be learning in this chapter. And in this chapter, we are going to be looking at reported speech. So we are not going to be making any speeches. That's not what it means. Instead, we are going to learn how to make statements from things that people have said. Okay, so without further ado, if you have your textbook, it would be great if you can look at it while we are going through the notes so that you understand what I'm talking about. The notes are taken from your textbook, but I will just be giving a little bit more than the words in the book. So let's begin. Okay, first of all, let us look at the sentences that are given on the right side of the screen, so the white part of the screen here. We need to underline the verbs, pronouns, and time expressions in these sentences. And then we are going to notice the changes that occur. So now let's look at the first sentence together. I went to a great concert last week, Kathy said. In the second sentence, Kathy said that she had been to a great concert the week before. Now, before we go into further details, let us look at what verbs and pronouns are. First of all, verbs. Verbs are any words that are used to describe an action. So action words. Okay, in BM we call this kata kerja. Next, we move on to pronouns. So pronouns are words that refer to a person. Any words that refer to a person. Examples that I have given to you here are I, he, she, it, or they. So all these words refer to people, either individuals or as a group. These are called kata ganti nama in BM. So we need to notice first the verbs and then the pronouns. Let's look at the first sentence there. The verb which has been put in bold is the word went. I went to a great concert last week. The word went is the verb. Now when we change it into a reported speech, we don't maintain the word went. Instead, we change it to had been. From the word went, we change it to had been. Next, let's look at the pronoun. In the first sentence, the speech made by Kathy, the speech here meaning what she said, she uses the word I to talk about herself. But we cannot continue to use the word I in the second sentence because that doesn't make sense. So therefore, we have to change the word I into the word she because Kathy is a girl. So Kathy said that she had been to a great concert the week before. Now, instead of using the word last week, this is the time expression that we change into the week before. Right? So that is how the changes occur when we change sentences into statements or reported speech. Let us continue by completing these rules, and I will go through it together with you. Okay? We use reported speech to tell someone what another person has said. The main verb usually moves back one tense into the blank. We also change the pronouns and possessive adjectives where necessary, and there are often words that show, blank, and place. Okay, now let's go into the first blank. Now you would probably think that it is referring to past tense, but actually, more accurately, we are using past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. The important thing about past perfect tense is that we are using the word had. So I have given you here 5 examples of sentences that use past perfect tense. And all of these are reported because they are talking about what has happened in the past, and we are using past perfect tense. So this is what we call reported. Okay, let's look at the first one together. After Sophie had finished her work, she went to lunch. So had finished. Second sentence, I washed the floor when the painter had gone. Number 3 there, Harold had known, so had known about it for a while. Number 4 there, I didn't say anything until she had finished talking. And the last one, after she had moved out, I found her notes. Now, the rule for using past perfect tense is to use the word had plus the past participle. Once again, the rule for using past perfect tense is to use the word had plus the past participle. In your textbook, you can find the list of past participles on page 174 and 175. So that will help you a lot today in the exercises. The first blank there is we use the word had. Okay, continuing on, the second blank there. We also change the pronouns and possessive adjectives where necessary, and there are often changes in words that show blank and place. Once again, pronouns are words that refer to people. In BM, we call it kata ganti nama. Okay? Possessive adjectives are words that describe who something belongs to, such as theirs, ours, his or hers. Okay, so the answer for this blank is actually the word time, that show time and place, just like in the previous one, where instead of saying last week, we change it to the week before. Let's continue noticing the difference in the structure of these sentences. Let us look at the reporting verbs. So reporting verbs here are the words said and told. Let us look at sentences 1 and 2 together. In sentence 1, my piano teacher said that I had improved. In sentence 2, my piano teacher told me that I had improved. Okay, let us look at, first of all, the similarities. In the similarities, you use the word had plus past participle. Like I mentioned before, had plus past participle. So this is the past perfect tense. However, let's look at the difference between said and told. If you notice, the word told is followed by the word me, whereas the word said has no me after it. So whenever you use told, it should be followed by me or him or her or them. Whereas for the word said, you don't need to do that. You can just continue your sentence with that blah blah blah. That is the difference. So now with that knowledge, let us complete the rules. We can use the verbs say and tell to report speech. When we use blank, we follow it with an object. So the answer here would be when we use a pronoun. Okay, when we use a pronoun, when we use told. When we use told, we follow it with an object. So the answer is told or tell. Told or tell. We follow it with an object. So you can see this in sentence 2, where the object is the word me, whereas the word said doesn't have this. Okay, so exercises. For today, you only need to do exercise F on page 125 because we have already done exercise E in the grammar and vocab exercise previously. You need to do a little bit of thinking to make sure that you are using the past perfect tense correctly. So remember, past perfect tense means you are using the word had plus past participle. And you must identify the action word, the verb, before you use the past participle. That is the first thing that you need to do. The second thing is when you are changing direct speech into reported speech, be careful. Look at if you are using the word said or told. Remember, if you are using the word told, there needs to be a subject following the word told. So maybe it's me, maybe it's you, maybe it's us, maybe it's them. You need to read the sentences to be careful to get it right. There are only 8 sentences to do today, so I hope that you can be very accurate with your work. Now, submission is counted as attendance, and the link is given here. And there's also a QR code in case you cannot access the link by the URL given. Okay, so I hope that this has been useful to you and that you can do the exercise today. Tomorrow we will continue with speaking practice or maybe listening, depending on what Sanaiza wants to do. However, just for your information, there is a speaking test for you at the end of the year. So we don't know when you're coming back to school, but in the meantime, even though we are at home, we need to make an effort to do speaking practice. So if we are doing it tomorrow, please cooperate, okay? So that's all from me. Thank you, and hopefully I will see you all soon.